Good morning, Janine. Gotta get the frog out of my throat here. Oh, I forgot to turn on my little friend here. There we go, that's better. Oh, really? We're supposed to be like 101 today. I was actually thinking about going to the hot fair today, but it's gonna be too hot for the hot fair. They have a big county fair. Today is the last day of it, but not if it's gonna be 101 out. No, thank you. Good morning, Yvonne. That is one satisfied cat. Hello, Vol. New face. I don't think I've seen you here before. How's everybody doing today? Well, I'm on the start of my weekend, so that's a good start, right? Good way to start. Getting ready to start up a 2 hour live stream with some of my friends. So, that's pretty good, right? Got a cat that's enjoying my company. Oh, yeah, you don't get brushed on the head very much, do you? No, you don't. Well, thank you for showing up on the live stream. New viewers, old viewers, it's great. Yeah, 23 days. Yeah, well, it's all on the line, isn't it? Hi, Tracy. Never really developed a taste for oatmeal. I've tried, it just isn't for me. Yeah, he's just getting an extended brushing today. To get some mats in his fur. I want to see if I can brush out. They aren't really bad, but they're the type of things that can get bad. I'd rather brush them out if I can than have to cut them off. Right there by his tail. That's where it is. A lot of fur there, buddy. Yeah, I used to eat cream of wheat. That was pretty good. Bacon, eggs, and sausage, though. That sounds pretty good. Kind of hard to beat that. Okay, my arm's getting tired, buddy. Yeah, I'm kind of off and on with pancakes. Pancakes, I think, are a little too sweet for me. Good morning, Gene. How are you? I myself am doing well. Got my buddy here with me, getting ready for an exciting live stream. Yeah, but even a little bit of syrup kind of overdoes it for me. I don't know. I think maybe in the morning my blood sugar just gets knocked out of whack too easily. And I've never really been a person that's been really into sweet things. Grits are all right. I've had grits. That's I never had it until I got into Texas. In fact, first time I had grits was when I came to Texas the first time to figure out where it was I wanted to where I wanted to live in the state. And one morning I was in the car heading down to Longview. I wanted to check that place out, and found just like a country restaurant kind of along the highway I was on, and they had grits, so I had grits. No, no, we're back in operation now. Somewhat. I mean, we're still kind of firing everything up. You know, you don't just flip a switch and these lines come on. It's a process, and you know when the machines have been worked on as much as they have, and they're as complicated as these are. There's a lot of adjustments that need to be made when you first get them going again. We try doing test runs before we bring the lines back into operation, but that never works. Yeah, I heard about that about the big boy coming through Waco. Well, not Waco. It actually probably did go through Waco, but uh, I heard it was going to be in West. That day it was in Marlin, which is a little like southeast of Waco, and then it was in West, which was is a little north of Waco. Ugh, got cat fur all over the place here. Tickle on my nose, and anyway, it popped up on my Facebook profile about a month or two ago, and I said, "Oh, that sounds interesting." And I started doing a little research on it and figured out what this thing was all about. And I said, "Yeah, I definitely got to go see that. That'll be a great vlog." And it was impressive. Yeah, well, I mean, how often do you get to see the largest steam locomotive in the world, especially when it's the only functioning one left? You wish you could have seen it, don't you, Bite? I bet you he does. Yeah, the ground shook when that thing came by. You don't get that on the video. Yeah, I wasn't sure what the crowd was going to be like. In one thing, you know, it's probably the biggest thing that happened in West in quite a while. And but on the other hand, it was like a Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon that it happened. So it's like, you know, you don't know. Are people going to come? Are people not going to come? You never know. And it turned out a lot of people were there. They had the police directing traffic, and there probably had to be a few thousand people that turned out to see that thing. And I'm guessing they probably figured that would happen. They've been, you know, the publicity on this thing has been big. You know, they've gone all out to share this, and I don't think they would be, you know, hooking up a big locomotive and stopping in a town like West if they didn't anticipate there were going to be some people there. It was good publicity for Union Pacific, and they have such kind of an important history with the United States anyway. Well, there's nothing that says you have to be close to it. I was as close as they'd let you get. I mean, the place where I was when the place I was when the train came in before I walked to where it stopped. That was just, you know, there was no security there at all. It was just there was the train track, there was a little green belt, there was a road, and then there were like businesses on the other side of that road. So you could have gone over there and watched it from in front of the businesses. Kept a safe distance, whatever you feel that is. All right, Elvis is in the building. But I like the town of West. I've gotten a number of interesting vlogs out of that area. Because West is also the place where that chemical factory was that exploded. That was in West. The crash at Crush was in West. And you remember a couple years ago, I went through that drive-through Christmas Village. That was in West also. The lights of the West. Well, like I said in the video, I'd wanted to check out that museum for a while. um, because of them having pieces from it. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what happens. You use steam boilers. There's high pressure, and those things explode. It's like a bomb. That was probably not the best thing in the world. Ironically, the guy that planned the thing was initially fired and then hired back by the same company and started doing train crashes again in other places. Ah, nice cold water. Not vodka. If it was vodka, I'd be sleeping at the end of the live stream. There were some suggestions brought up in the comments on the video of what the diesel engine was for. Um, some suggested the possibility that because steam engines, you require the ability to reload water uh, into the uh, into the boiler. You got to do that every 50 miles or so. And so some were saying that maybe the diesel was to augment the power so they could go longer between needing to refill the boilers. That seems like a reasonable answer to me because I mean there aren't a whole lot of steam engines floating around out there anymore, so you don't have these trackside locations where they can come fill the boiler again. Yeah, well, we're at the one year anniversary of October 7th. Other people suggested the possibility that it was needed to help the big boy get over hills and stuff like that. And it's like, no, that was what big boy was designed to do. The water thing that makes absolute sense. Yeah, I've got laptops that have turned into paperweights too. Do you have a good salsa recipe? I'm gonna have to do something with this machine over here too. This thing's on its last life. We're supposed to be 101 degrees here today, Elvis. Oh, okay. You making the one I made? Okay. I was wondering. Chimichangas. Ooh, that sounds good. If it's the one I did, there's a vlog on it. It was a few years ago. Go search the word salsa in my videos. You should find it. It is. It's a pretty good one. I've the first time I made it, which is the time I did it with you guys, um, I wasn't as impressed with it as I was hoping I would be, but I was excited about it because it really gave me the ingredients to turn it into something good. I thought the one that we made initially was a little weak, but I've goosed it up now when I make it. It's 20 of the it's 20 of the Roma tomatoes, uh, two red onions, eight jalapenos, eight serrano peppers, and sometimes I put some of my own chilies in there for the for a little extra oomph. Yeah, the desktop behind me. I mean, I had that in my house in California, so that's how old that is. Yeah, I actually do have some of the okra. I don't eat a lot of okra. That's why I haven't done that. That was a spectacularly successful crop and a harvest. But you know, there's just not a whole lot of times where I say, I could really go for some okra. I wanted to try it just to see what it was like, and like I said, it did really well. But I probably won't do it again. Nibbles in her room. She doesn't come out here very much. Bite was here a little bit at the beginning, but he's usually out usually for the start of the live stream to get a little brush and get a little attention and some kitty treats, and he's back in his room. A little niblet, yeah, that's it. Can you believe those two are 17 years old? Gonna be 18 next year. They're out of the house at that point. Time for them to get jobs. Does your computer boot at all? Does anything happen? Yeah, those two cats are. I've had them longer than any other cats I've ever had. That would, yeah, we'll go on a job hunt with them. Well, I mean, that was something I did with in my house in California when I had the cat that I had before Bite and Nibble. Uh, I put all sorts of shelves at different levels, shelves at the windows so they could sit and look out the window. And yeah, the cat before Bite and Nibble enjoyed it. Bite and Nibble enjoyed it. I built him one when I was in the apartment, and built him one here too. And the beauty is, if my rock collection grows, eventually they will die. And I've already got the shelves for my rocks in there. So if my collection gets bigger than it already is, which it most likely will, I'll be ready to go here. When do I start gearing up for Halloween? We've already crossed that line. That's the new king of Halloween this year. You saw the video of him. I'm actually going to do a video today, which will go up on Tuesday, that is going to do the early beginnings of Halloween because there's stuff I do in the windows and I can do that and put that up and kind of give it a kind of a cue of a preview of what's coming. Let people know to hey, keep your eyes out. Here we go again. And so, but he won't go out until day of. I've already arranged to take the day of and the day after Halloween off. So, we'll get everything put up and everything torn down. But if I get like the projector with the ghosts in the bedroom, and I got like a standing witch. She's old and doesn't really look that good anymore. But what I did last year is I put her in one of the windows and then flashed strobe lights behind her, and that was a really cool, really creepy effect. And she looked great in that. So we're going to do that again. I also want to I got like a couple of floodlights out in the front yard that light up the front of the house, or the front yard when I need to. And I found some blacklight floodlights that I want to put in their place. So we'll probably do that too. I'll turn the thing back here so I can see what you're saying. Yeah, he was a new he was a little on the pricey side. This is the first time that I've gone to this place. This is that place called Fright Props. It's frightprops.com. And they got all sorts of great stuff. I found out that John Guthrie, the guy who runs Silo of Screams, gets a lot of his stuff from this place. And in fact, digging through it, I've seen some of the things he's got in the haunt, there on the page. But I was looking for something like that because the Pumpkin King that I had last year, he didn't work very well the entire night. And I might end up decommissioning him or at least giving him a smaller role this year. He may be up on the porch with with a floodlight on him or something like that, rather than out at the street. And the girl with a swing, that didn't work very well either. She didn't continue to work the whole night. In fact, she was intermittent. She wouldn't swing sometimes. Sometimes she just shut herself off. So there's something wrong there too. Was Bite photobombing us? It wouldn't surprise me. Well, like I said, the witch is going to be in the bedroom window, and our ghoulish friend here, he's going to be right there on the front step, on the first step. One of the things I'm a little disappointed with him is I think he leans over a little too much. But I think if I put him up, there's a couple of steps going up to my house, and I think if I put him on the first step, looking down at the street, the main target is kids. And so if he's 7 feet tall by himself, and if I put him up on like a 6 inch platform, that's that first step, he'll be looking down on the kids. And I think that will be kind of creepy. I don't know. We'll see what happens when we get him out there. I might have to build some sort of platform for him. We'll figure it out. I got a pork chop thawing here and some veggies in the fridge. I'm gonna use the instant pot. I tend to do that. Just realized I forgot to turn the fan on today. That's okay. It's nice and cool in here anyway. Oh, there'll probably be a little ad in that little spot at some point. No, Jordan and I don't really talk, that much. We're not. Neither of us are get on the phone and chat kind of people. We communicate through texting when we got something to say. I still owe him a visit. I guess that means it's 11:30, but not yet. Not according to my clock. Oh well. You know what they say? A man with a clock knows what time it is. A man with two clocks is never quite sure. In my case, I got five clocks, so I'm really confused. 12:30 there. Okay. So what's it like in the future? So it's just like the past. Nothing changes. I knew it. Yeah, no, there's a 2 hour difference to California. You're living in the past. She said on Facebook, I think this morning, that she wasn't going to be here today. Apparently, her best friend passed away. She said she was like a sister. So I told her we'd all miss her. Hey, Bite, you back for more? Meow. Is that a yes? Come on up. Come on, buddy. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I'm in the central time zone. So it's Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific. So it's 2 hours to California, five to Hawaii. Yeah, you don't do the daylight saving time? Okay. Yeah, I wish they'd just get rid of all the daylight saving time stuff. Just put us on daylight saving time and stay there. Yeah, yeah. Texas is all central. It would makes just so much more sense, Yvonne. Yeah, it just creates problems. You know, knocks everything out of sync. Everyone's either tired or off balance for a few days afterwards. It just I don't know if it ever made any sense, but it makes even less sense these days. Who knows? You want a treat? Whoops, dropped one. Hello, Linda. You like those, don't you? Yummy, yummy. Yeah, I've heard that quote, Gene. Now he's gonna lick my finger because my finger tastes like kitty treats. Except he's not little, Yvonne. Anything, the little's like the one word you can't use to describe him. He's only little if you compare him to a car. We're supposed to have like a real cooling off period over the next couple of days. I guess we're supposed to be 101 today, but tomorrow it's just going to be in the 90s, and then by Wednesday we're going to be into the upper 70s. So yeah, I'm still in the AC on mode here. It's funny though. It here in Texas, it's weird because it tends to go from AC on to heat on in a matter of a couple of days. Right, bite. That's one of the cool things about Texas. So is about the time you're tired of the weather being a certain way, it changes, and I'm ready to go into more of a winter mode now. Something where it's nice to be outside a little bit. And I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to be on Halloween. Halloween's usually pretty warm here, but last year it was cold. I think it was like in the 40s at night. It was so cold I had the potbelly stove out in the front yard just for people to warm up with, and I was handing out little mini bottles of liquor to the adults. Don't know if I'll do that again this year because, like I said, that was just because it was really cold last year. But I don't know, maybe I will. It was actually pretty popular. A lot of people enjoyed them. There's a hot air balloon festiva or fiesta. Sorry. Yeah, the thermometer on the computer here says 85. I don't know if that's the truth, but good seeing you, Tracy. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I've never been in a hot air balloon. Sounds like it'd be a fun thing to do. I have bungee jumped. Yeah, I have pictures there. I have video of me bungee jumping. I did a vlog on that once. You're now a balloonist, huh? It was fun. There's a place in the mountains in Los Angeles area where we did that. I guess what it was because a lot of people like do it on bridges. Well, there was this bridge. They called it the Bridge to Nowhere, um, and it literally was. It was a bridge that they built like in the 30s, and 1 year after it was built, a flood came through the area, wiped out all of the road all along there, and only the bridge remains. And so it's just kind of been out in the middle of nowhere. Well, they went out there once and said, that it was, structurally sound, and they somebody bought it, and they started doing bungee jumping off of it. Yeah, well, it was into a canyon. Yeah, there was a river running below it, probably 100 or 150 feet down. I love Bob's Big Boy. You're not afraid of the jump, you're afraid of the boing boing, huh? Yeah, that's exciting. Hey, bye. Hi, Connie. Welcome to the live stream. You back? You're thinking, I'm hungry again, aren't I? I don't think I've ever been to a Sambo's. Yeah, I think that's pretty much true, Gene. Been to a lot of Denny's. Denny's are all over the place. Denny's was what I was eating the first couple of days I moved into Texas because I didn't have any dishes or anything like that. So breakfast time, let's go out and I basically ate out most of the time. Yeah, he's back. Yeah, we used to have a Coco's near where I lived in when I was a kid. Yeah, Coco's went under. Leon's, I don't remember that. Yeah, well, Denny's will probably never go anywhere, but who knows? Yeah, I've had their Grand Slam. Hmm. Like I said, I've never heard of Leon's. Yeah, I can imagine that Sambos wouldn't be very politically correct these days. Probably get themselves canceled. Well, especially if you're in California right now, where I think they're pushing like a $20 minimum wage for restaurant workers. I don't know how they do that and not think that you're going to destroy the economy. I didn't really eat in a lot of restaurants, and the ones I liked the best were like one-offs. Not so much, or like small chains. There was a place in Brea, which is close to where I used to live in California, called Taps, and I liked them because they had good steaks and seafood and that kind of stuff, but they also brewed their own beer. And so, we, birthday parties and stuff like that, we go to dinner there. And I enjoyed the different, trying the different types of beers and stuff like that they made on property. I've tried doing that a lot with some of my restaurant vlogs here. Is just kind of focusing on one-offs. Yes, I do some chains and stuff like that, but I think sometimes you get better food with one-offs. Yeah, I know. I used to eat a lot of fast food. I stopped doing that a long time ago. It's I'll do it sometimes, if I'm like out and about or something like that. But yeah, I don't hit fast food very often. And when I have done it recently, it's been mostly to vlog it, like when I did the Taco Casa one a couple weeks ago. Prior to that, I think last time I was at a fast food restaurant was when I was in California for my mom's funeral. I hadn't had a Carl's Jr. Hamburger in a while, and because they aren't here, and so I had to go back and try that. One, it was stupidly expensive, and two, it wasn't as good. They're cutting down on, not only are they boosting the prices, but they're cutting down on the ingredients. One of my favorite things at Carl's Jr. is their Western bacon cheeseburger. Those are so tasty, but they're cutting down on the bacon, they're cutting down on the cheese, they're cutting down on the barbecue sauce. It was almost flavorless. And I paid like $15 for it. A burger, fries, and a drink. That was insane. That was the first time I'd been in like a fast food chain in a long time. Thank you, Jeffrey. Yeah, I thought that would be an interesting vlog, and that we'd probably get some good views out of that one. Sometimes my on my vlogs it takes a little while for them to catch on. All my regulars will look at them in the first 24 or 48 hours, but then if it gets popular, then YouTube will start promoting it, and that big boy thing, there was a lot, there was a lot of publicity about that. Yeah, I agree too, Connie. I mean, I even before the shutdown, I wasn't really that into fast food. I kind of gave up on fast food, I'd say 15, 20 years ago. Prior to that, I was a Carl's Jr., I was a Wendy's, I was a Burger King kind of person. I gave up on McDonald's a long time ago. Their food just sucks. Never was really a huge Jack in the Box fan either. But Carl's Jr. was always good. Arby's has its moments too. Yeah, I'll have Arby's from time to time. Jordan really likes Arby's, so that's a good you know if we're looking for food at some point we see one of those. That's always something we can agree on. Chick-fil-A is good too. Never really had Arby's that much growing up because the nearest one was like 15 miles away, and so it was a chore to get there. Usually with fast food, the operative word is fast, and if you have to drive 10, 15 minutes to get there, 10 to 15 minutes to get back, it's no longer fast anymore. Especially if you're taking to go. By the time you get home, it's cold. Yeah, I like Arby's horseradish sauce. Well, I mean, a lot of times with places like that, it is up to the individual franchise owner whether it's good or bad. Too salty. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it being, that thin sliced beef, but I don't know. I think it's pretty tasty. All right, coming up on noon here. Yeah, pastrami is good. I made a pastrami recipe a while back. I did a vlog on it. It turned out really good. I don't remember what was it exactly, but it was good. It was pastrami and horseradish and everything that you'd want on a good pastrami sandwich. Like turkey and cheese on rye with homemade potato salad. That sounds pretty good. The grandfather clock is the one I set to try and be as close to being actual time as as possible. I had them all kind of set where they all went off exactly at the same time, but it was just a jumble of noise when you got 3 or 4 clocks going off all at once. So I decided to stagger them a little bit so that you get to enjoy each of them. I've heard a lot of people say they love their George Foreman grills. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they hate theirs. I like a good meatball sub too. Can't go wrong with that. Never really been a huge potato salad fan. I guess there's a whole bunch of ways to make it. Chocolate pudding, huh? Mmm. Haven't done any really elaborate things in the kitchen. I'm pretty boring when it comes to food, except for like when I'm doing a vlog or something like that. It's usually just something I pull out of the deep freeze and throw on the grill. Tonight it's gonna be a pork chop, I think. Where are you, Scott? We can look, I can give you a weather report here. Canton, Ohio. All right, let's see what's going on Canton, Ohio here. I don't really see anything. There's like a storm that's going north of Lake Erie. But I don't see anything happening specifically around Canton. Interesting. Of course, that just shows rain. So maybe there's no rain up there. Maybe you just got some cloud cover coming in. Yeah, maybe it's Mothman. That's true. All right. Half the water's done, half the live stream's done. Funny how that works, huh? Yeah, the plant went back into operation on Friday. We're still kind of bringing lines back up, but yeah, we're out of the maintenance interval now. It's a little rough getting the lines coming up when they've been taken apart and put back together again. It takes a little bit of adjusting to get everything working. So it's going to take a week or so for us to get back into normal operation, hopefully. It's not dangerous. It's just time consuming because there's a lot of moving parts on the machine, and they try and do test runs before they start everything up again, but test runs don't always work the way it works when you're running real product. So we came in yesterday. One of the lines had been brought up, but it wasn't working. They brought it up, but it came up poorly, and so they shut it down again. And we're doing work on that. Well, by the time we left yesterday, we'd gotten that line going and two others. Now, how long they work, the line that they brought up, it ran for like 3 hours and then stopped. So you never know, but the longer they go, the better. Get everything kind of worn in. Yeah, somewhat. They're a little noisy. The company insists we wear hearing protection when they're in operation. I don't think that's really necessary, but it's their call. They're doing what they think is right. I guess I'd rather have them erring on the side of caution. Yeah, we have hearing protection we wear. When they're paying the bills, they get to decide what the PPE is. Well, it's a continuous noise, but I don't think it's like in any dangerous range. I don't know. I think they're right on the line where they could get away with having it or not having it. And I think, like I said, they err on the side of caution. And besides, I'm already in my later in life. I'm an old fart. Oh, I doubt that. I don't want to live to be 100. Well, I guess I could see how a dentist drill could do that too, because there's like really high frequencies in that. High frequencies, they sometimes do more damage than you think they might. Yeah, that's about right, Yvonne. Bite's just doing orbits here now, deciding whether he's going to come to visit me. I think he's going to, standing at the foot of the couch and probably going to pop up here in a second. I can hear him purring. Meow, meow, meow. Okay, heck with you. I don't know when I'll retire. Not really thinking about that yet. I would like to do it when I'm young enough to still enjoy my time. maybe travel a little. You did finally decide to come up and visit, didn't you? Want a little bit more brush action here? Let's get all the cat fur off of here first. Yes? Come on. Yeah, I'm just going to do it this way here. As I said before, he's got a little bit of a hair mat back here by his tail. Let's see if I can brush that out. Yeah. That's the only problem here, is the hair flies when you brush them. Doesn't it bite? I guess I'd consider retiring if and when I get to the point where I got enough money I can retire. I'm working on it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know what Social Security is going to do for me, or if it'll even be there when I'm ready for it. No, I haven't seen Child Star. Not really out there looking for new shows anymore. Is that on TV? If it's TV, I don't even have TV anymore. Yeah, nobody wants to admit they're old. I'm not afraid. I'm old. But I usually can hold my, can hide my age a little bit. If I cut off the mustache and the beard, I'd look a lot younger. I'm a little gray around the fringes, but and if I lost the, like I said, if I lost the goatee and the mustache, I could play a lot younger. I got a kick out of driving the floats. They were, you know, it wasn't a bad job, and I never really heard any of the people who are on floats on a regular basis complain about it. I mean, they seem to love doing it. So I don't know. Maybe it's a love hate thing. But like I said, a lot of the people I think who did the parades at Disney, they got into being into parades. They were, that's the job they applied for. So, maybe if it's something, it's the job you applied for versus something you're being forced to do because of a contract. Maybe that's changing things here. They were high to get through it. Okay, whatever works, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I tend to not, play into my age group here. So age is just a number. I'm slowing down a little bit, but I ain't stopped. That's true. And I have like a great aunt that lived to be like 103 or something like that. I went to her 100th birthday party. I've always looked younger than I am. I mean, I was getting carded for alcohol at 40. You gotta love a priest that'll crack jokes at a funeral. That's awesome. Anyone ever attends my funeral, feel free to crack jokes. Know that I'll be looking at you from the other side and laughing. Yeah, and they put Jimmy Carter on hospice like a year ago. He's still here. Yeah, oldest ex-president in history. You're right, and you're right. He looks he looks like he's almost dead. Want someone to come to your funeral dressed as the Grim Reaper, going around saying, "You're next." I want to put a recording in my casket at the funeral that has me banging on a casket, going, "Let me out! Let me out!" Well, losing Gene to church again. See you next week, Gene. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, he's still with us. Just likes a good pet. Get a little closer here so I can see what's happening here. Yeah, I'll do that when we get, day of Halloween. I've taken the day of and the day after Halloween off of work. So, we'll set up most of that. I'm going to do a vlog today of setting up some of the early stuff that I'll run in the house. I hope so. I hope to do, like I said, this guy, this is the star of the show this year. We'll probably have the Pumpkin King out again, but he's going to have kind of a secondary role. He'll probably be up on the porch or something with a spotlight on him. Yeah, the lantern does light up. And the eyes, I mean, you saw the video. If you watched the video I did a couple days ago, I think that went up on Tuesday. I have a couple of fog machines, but they don't work very well. They're cheap. I got to maybe buy a professional fog machine. I used dry ice once, but you had to buy an awful lot of it, and it didn't last as long as the fog machines do. Yeah, we Jordan came over and did Halloween at my place once, and we made the decision to get dry ice. One of the things I didn't realize um, is that with dry ice works better when the water is warm than when it's cold. So you put dry ice. I had like a 5 gallon bucket filled with water, and I was throwing dry ice in that, and it was working fine for a while. And then what would happen is the water would cool down, and the reaction wouldn't be as strong. So I'd have to like empty the water out and put more new tap water in it every once in a while. I wasn't aware of that. Yeah, this is just something I've had for a number of years that I pull out every Halloween. It isn't really showing up that well, but I think it's because it's an LED. But the mouth moves, so it makes it look like his mouth is opening and closing. Oh, but it isn't really even working. Yeah, the battery's probably dead. That's the problem. So yeah, he's lighting a little bit, but the mouth, the lights change a little bit in the mouth, make it look like the mouth is opening and closing. So yeah, I gotta put new batteries in him. I got two of him. Now I usually just put them in the front windows, and it's one of the things I kind of like to do with my house on Halloween is spend some time on it where there's a whole bunch of things that you have to look at, and you kind of sit and take it all in. And I actually got two of these. And I think it's like I said, he just needs new batteries. I think. Oh, you got a power charger too. I could plug them into the wall. I'd have to buy the charger though; it didn't come with one. Yeah, it was working at the beginning. I think, like I said, I turned both of them on before the live stream, and one of them was completely dead. But I opened the other, I turned the other one on, and he did seem to work. So he worked. I guess his batteries were a little better, but not that much better. Yeah, that's it. I wowed him with my intelligence, and now he's speechless. This is something I got at Disneyland. Actually, people were wearing them as necklaces like this, but it's got little suction cups here too that you can attach to the window. Although these suction cups might not work very well, I might have to hang him in front of the window. We can do that. I don't know. The girl in the swing didn't work the whole night, and so I don't know. I'm going to look at her, but she may not make another appearance this year. The Pumpkin King from last year, he'll be out again, although he'll probably be in a lesser position. He'll probably be up near the porch or something like that. Yeah, it's possible if I moisten them, but they feel kind of dried out. So I don't know if these suction cups are any good. I might end up even taking them off. Looks like they're just screwed in. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, you can get. I was able to get dry ice at the grocery store. I went to a Ralph's when I was in California, and when we did that and got it there, and I've seen they have it also at HEB. So if I wanted to, I could get some, but I don't know. Yeah, check out your grocery store, Yvonne, because dry ice is pretty common. I bet you can find dry ice at the grocery store. I used to handle dry ice a lot when I worked at Disneyland. Because when I was one of the shows I worked there is called Phantasmic, and we had to bring dry ice out to the island for the dragon at the finale when Maleficent transforms herself into a dragon. Yeah, we always wore gloves when we handled it, and you're right, it can burn your skin. It's so cold. Yeah, the only holidays I decorate for are Christmas and Halloween. I mean, I get some like LEDs on my house, and I'll do red, white, and blue or something for Fourth of July or something like that. Definitely light the house up red, white, and blue when Trump wins. I'm alone too, Yvonne, but I still do it because that's how I get to know my neighbors. I went for many years in California without doing decorating, when I had my house. But at one point, I kind of started doing that, started doing Halloween, and I did enjoy putting all that stuff up. I never had any problems with it. Now, most of my Halloween display was in the backyard, and the HOA was a little bit more limited what they would do on that. But um, I'd put a big scary draping ghoul hanging in the front of the house a week or so before Halloween, just to let everyone know, yeah, here we go again. It was perfect too because there was like a gable right in the front of the house where the ceiling went up on the top floor, and I had a hook right at the top there. I could hang that dude there, and it'd go all the way down to the ground. It was perfect. I still have him, and he goes up in a tree now. But it was funny when I first started doing both Halloween and Christmas. I was the only one on the block doing it. By the time I moved away from that place, um, you know, half the houses on the block had Christmas lights up, and three or four houses were doing Halloween. So I'd like to inspire that here. There's a lot of houses in this immediate area that do Christmas, and I noticed there's a house next block over, maybe five or six houses down, that has all sorts of cool Halloween inflatables and stuff like that in their front yard. I'm not really into the inflatables, but there's some people like those, and these guys did a good job with theirs. So hopefully we're inspiring people. This is going to be my third year doing Halloween. Hopefully it turns out really good. Hopefully we get more people inspired to join in. No, I mean there's a few people around here. There's a house I noticed out on my walk last night, maybe quarter of a mile from here, where they have what, three or four skeletons on their front porch, sitting there enjoying themselves. And so that's kind of cool. There's another house I saw when I was coming home from work last night that has some lights in the front of the house that look like spider webs and spiders crawling around. They spent some money on that. So there's people that take it seriously. Yeah, I went with him. Went with Jordan on a couple of Halloween things. He vlogged my house one year, and we went to some haunted houses around Los Angeles area. Saw some good stuff. Jordan knows how much I love Halloween, so I was always willing to tag along on those. Oh, I'm sure it will too. I've gotten nothing but positive feedback from the neighbors in the past. I was concerned about, doing something because this is kind of a very religious, very conservative community I live in, and I wasn't sure how they'd take it. And so that first year was just an experiment, but it was very popularly accepted and enjoyed. Everybody thanked me for it, and so yeah, it's on now. Now it's going to improve every year. I'll have to do something else. Yeah, me too, Yvonne. Yvonne, Halloween, Fourth of July, and Christmas are all my favorite holidays. Yeah, I know we're missing Darth. Darth is always the one that asks, "Did I get any new rocks?" And he's the reason why I take all my new rocks and put them in there in arm's reach so I could show them to you. Nobody asked. I got my rocks in arm's reach here, and yeah, these are some new things that I got. I thought that was really pretty. A lot of kind of cool stuff. I love the orange and the crystal in there. So that one's really kind of cool. I like that one a lot. And this is called pink fluorite. I thought this was kind of cool. I have fluorite, and fluorite is usually green, and this is pink, so pink almost purple. The orange stuff is called creedite. I got a little cheat sheet here for myself, so I remember what everything is. And I got this thing, and I think this thing's really wicked cool. Look at that. I always love these little quartz clusters and stuff like that. This one's a lot prettier than in person than it is on camera, but it's still pretty cool. I like that. I'm not sure why it's pink. That's a good question. And then that's kind of a cool crystal here with some green and kind of white color in there, some blue in there. Not really seeing it. That glitters a lot, but you're only seeing a little bit of the glitter on that. But that's a cool one. I like that one. And this one here is specifically why I was kind of hoping that Darth would come in because I think Darth mentioned something on a live stream a while ago about a mineral called what's it? Vivianite, and it's known by another name called a quartz crystal. And I found a piece of Vivianite and quartz crystal. Apparently, this stuff only grows on corpses. Apparently, in a very wet environment, if the person is buried in like a steel coffin, that the minerals will be leached out of the coffin and will begin to form on a body. And so that one's really cool. And I when Kara showed me this, I said, "Oh, it's Vivianite." And it's like, "I've heard of that. What is that?" And it's called quartz crystal. It's like, "Oh man, I got to get that." So that's really cool. Like I said, somebody I think it was Darth mentioned that on a live stream once, and I've it's been kind of in my head ever since. That's your Uncle Harry. Okay, well, hello, Harry. How you doing? So yeah, that's my new rock acquisitions. I'm kind of going easy on the rocks, so that those were like 30-40 dollars a piece. It's not uncommon for me to get out of there for spending $500. That was about half for that, but In the last two times I've visited, I spent like $1,800 there. So I decided I had to tone it back a little bit. No idea, Connie. No idea how exactly they get that. I'm guessing it might be one of these things that, because I mean, crystals like that don't form overnight. That takes a long time, and it just. I'm guessing maybe I don't know. Were they using steel coffins a few hundred years ago? I don't know, but yeah, that's weird. It's also really fragile, so it's one of those that I don't want to move around much. Like I said, somebody, I think it was Darth, it might have been Dot, mentioned it. It sounds like something Darth would say. And so when I got a chance to get some of that, it's like, oh man, I got to get that. And it's funny, Chris and Kara over at Gallery 11, they're to the point now where they know the kinds of things that I like, and they'll save things for me. They won't put them out in the store until I've had a chance to look at them. And this was a case where they bought a whole bunch of, about a dozen different pieces that they had, and they just had them in the back there and said, "Yeah, we've got a few things we wanted that we're saving just for you." And I ended up walking out with about half of it. So I like my rocks. Yeah, I think so too, Gene. It probably is Darth. Gallery 11 is really into this Christology stuff too. A lot of the stuff that they have, you know, oh, we got, I got bad feelings or something like that. Oh, we got a crystal for that. Oh, I am, lacking energy. Oh, I got a crystal for that. A lot of that stuff, they're really into that Christology. I'm just into it because I think they're gorgeous. But I'm not buying them for any properties that come with them except their appearance. And so, if there is anything to it, there's probably such a mash of energy coming out of this house that probably, it's probably all contradicting each other here, each itself. So I don't know if there is anything to the Christology. I'm probably doing it wrong. But that piece right there, that's called a golden healer crystal. That in and of itself is kind of you know, evidence of, the Christology focus of the shop. I just love looking at them, Yvonne. If I were into jewelry, though, I would definitely get something like that. Yeah, I haven't really watched Twilight Zone a whole lot either recently because yeah, the same with me. I used to have a period where I would get off of school about 11. I'd come home, 11 o'clock in the morning. When I was in college, I'd come home for a couple hours and I'd go to work at like 3 in the afternoon. And during that time off, I would, watch the Twilight Zone every day. It was Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and it'd be one of each, and I'd watch that. And you're right, I know like all the Twilight Zones by heart too. I haven't watched them for a long time, but I also have access to all of them on Netflix too. So I can watch them anytime I want. It is a great show. So many great episodes that have just become classics. It's 1 o'clock. There will be in a minute. Yeah, I have a Prism too. I like mine too. There's not really a good. I have it kind of on the window here, but it's not really a good place for it in this house, unfortunately. I had it in a perfect place in my house in California because it was on a west facing window in the stairwell of the house, and so when the sun hit it, it would cast the rainbow on either the wall opposite the window or on the floor in front of the TV, depending on where the sun was. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of setting up a Halloween this weekend. I'm gonna probably do that today. You'll see that on Tuesday. I want to do the stuff that I can do inside the house. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really read a whole bunch about Hitchcock. Yeah, I went and got some of the decorations this past last weekend for me, just to get some stuff home. Like I said, this dude arrived in the mail about a week and a half ago, and so I had to put him together. He's really cool. He's going to be the star of Halloween this year, no doubt. But I got some like purple Christmas lights that I put out in the front yard, and that's sort of the first warning that okay, we're getting ready for Christmas or for Halloween here. Time to start paying attention. Well, sounds like we're kind of winding this one down. I got my 2 hours in today, so I'm going to pull the plug on this one. We'll catch up with you again next week. Had a good time today. This was a fun live stream. Thanks, everyone. Good night.